NOLA Gent here at Mahony's PoBoys, yeah!
Welcome to NOLA Gent. Let the good times roll. In our new food show episode, we are searching for where is the best po' boy New Orleans restaurants have. We are visiting Mahony's PoBoys and Seafood at their Uptown location to test out their New Orleans roast beef po' boy to see if it might be one of the best po' boy sandwich options in New Orleans. Mahony's is located at 3454 Magazine Street in New Orleans, which is about 15 minutes and 3 miles away from the French Quarter, but they also have a location in the French Quarter. This is the original location here, though, in Uptown New Orleans, and they opened back in 2008 and have gone through multiple owners since then. The Gulf oil spill in 2010 caused some serious increases in seafood prices and really caused some challenging times for seafood restaurants and those who love to eat seafood. I actually haven't been back in here since 2010, as the last time I was here I was quoted $40 for a shrimp po' boy, and at that price point that was a fine dining restaurant experience that I would prefer over a po' boy. So you can see here they've added a snowball stand also inside here, which is unusual as most po' boy stands are standalone businesses in New Orleans, but it is an interesting addition. I don't remember any other restaurants in New Orleans that have their own snowball stands. As I mentioned before, I haven't been back in here since the rough times caused by the 2010 Gulf oil spill and the multiple owners that have happened since then. So I'm curious to see what has changed. But they definitely have kept the inside bar the same as I remember it. I used to always eat up at the bar here whenever I would pay a visit. Now in the COVID-19 times, you can't sit at the bar, you have to sit at a table. And I am really curious to see what the food is like now, to see if anything's still the same or if everything has changed. So let's take a look at this menu. So we have a boozy brunch menu, Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 3. There's a bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys, Cartoza's monster cinnamon roll, loaded sunrise fries, stuffed crawfish etouffee bread. Ooh, that sounds good. Grits and grillades, but it's made with beef short rib. Veal is the only proper grillade. Smothered chicken biscuit, low country shrimp and grits. Then we have the main menu with our starters with a basket of onion rings, fried green tomatoes, fried pickles, Jerry's wings, etouffee fries, debris fries. Then we have greens with different salads, then Mahony's famous po' boys with our fried shrimp, fried oysters, fried catfish, Angus pot roast beef, root beer glazed Chizzy's ham and cheese, grilled hot sausage patty, grilled hamburger, cold turkey and Swiss, the club, French fry po' boy, the smoked sausage, the peacemaker, and Mahony's muffaletta. Then we have our sides, and then up on the other side of the menu we have our blue plate specials that I wanted to go back and try, but they have since canceled doing these. And we have our boozy brunch again, the New Orleans classics of chicken and andouille gumbo, seafood gumbo, loaded crawfish etouffee, red beans, catfish acadiana, then fried plates with shrimp, catfish and shrimp, chicken tenders baskets, and then they have mini Mahoney's for the kids menu, and then a dessert of beignet fries. So in the past, when I used to come here, I always really enjoyed the seafood gumbo they had here. And this one looks great. Now let's see how it tastes. Because you know the NOLA Gent has got to put his Tabasco sauce or some kind of hot sauce on his gumbo. It just tastes better that way. Oh, this does look pretty though. There seems to be some really big chunks of seafood in here. So it smells fantastic, it looks beautiful. Now we're gonna mix all these flavors in here. Ooh, it's looking good.
Ooh. So the last time I ate here years ago, the shrimp were huge. Like this big. Huge. And they like had the gumbo on like once a week, maybe on a Friday, but several owners ago though. This place has been bought out several times though. There we go.
Definitely some good flavors here. I think I like it. I'm liking it so far on the first bite. And this is just a cup of gumbo. This is the size of a bowl of gumbo in most other places. So, thumbs up for a really big portion.
Whoa, look at here.
It is a hearty, thick, rich gumbo. Yes.
A big bite.
I'll go ahead and smash this gumbo a thumbs up, and if you could smash that subscribe button and the thumbs up on this video, I really would appreciate it, and it really would help me.
There's a lot of crab in here too, yeah.
And that crab is a really important ingredient. A lot of gumbos sometimes don't seem to have the crab in them. There could be some improvement if they added oysters in here. I did not see any oysters. There could be oysters, maybe I just didn't get any, but I always like to have some oyster in here too. This gumbo went down really easy. I think I could definitely make a meal out of a entire bowl because this cup is the size of a bowl like I mentioned before at other places. I'd be curious to see how big their actual bowl is. It would have to be huge. And so then my dining companion got this delicious looking oyster po' boy, and then I got the roast beef po' boy with a side of Creole mustard because Creole mustard always makes po' boys better to me. So let's go ahead and dig into this po' boy. It definitely looks different than the original roast beef po' boy they had here. That po' boy originally had a lot of gravy and it was just very juicy. It was a great po' boy. This obviously though does have a lot of meat on it, so this is definitely not a lightweight po' boy. So I'm curious to see how the flavor is. It just looks a little bit more dry than the original roast beef po' boy here years ago. So let's take a bite and see how it tastes. Okay, so the meat is very tender. It's really good. I'm just not getting any gravy running out of it anywhere here. So very tender, good meat. Just no gravy that I can really detect. So they definitely are not a gravy rich roast beef po' boy here. So it's still got a good flavor. The meat is very moist. Just usually we're used to a little bit of gravy streaming down our hands by this point at many places. So it is a good piece of meat on here though, you can tell. So it is a very tender, delicious piece of beef on the roast beef po' boy. And the bread is very appropriately French bread crunchy, exactly the way we like it. It's perfectly been dressed with lettuce, tomato, pickles, and my favorite Creole mustard on here. So it is definitely a lot of food. Just one half of this is so much food. There's so much inside of this po' boy. The New Orleans overstuffed po' boy sandwiches are massive meals, and eating a whole one can be a challenge. But we're gonna take down a whole one. We're almost done with this half, so it's going down easy because it is so delicious. I am enjoying the experience so far, because I still have some room. That gumbo might cause a little bit of slowing up on the second half of the sandwich. All right, here we go. I think it's maybe one bite, two bites. What do you think? Oh, one bite. What did you guess? So comment below on your favorite kind of po' boy if you have one. If you've never had one, let us know which one you might like the best. A seafood one, a roast beef, or some other type. Okay, wow, look at all this meat on this thing. Just losing big chunks.
Structural integrity is hard to maintain with one hand. It's definitely a two-handed job always.
So typically in New Orleans, we like to see a lot of stuff fall out of the po' boy because that just shows how overstuffed it is. So the more stuff we have left over at the end of the meal to have our third portion of the po' boy lets us know how good of a po' boy it is. So we're gonna really enjoy what we have left of this one, but it is going down so fast. I've still got the energy. Luckily, the gumbo has not filled me up too much, so I still have plenty of room. Look how big that chunk of beef is on there. Just a fantastic, huge, delicious chunk of marvelous roast beef. Ooh. And we're gonna have quite a good collection of debris falling out of the po' boy itself. So I think we'll have a pretty decent third portion of our po' boy to finish off here in a little bit. This is definitely a good po' boy. I'm enjoying this roast beef po' boy. Some of the po' boy places just use plain sliced roast beef, and really that's generally a letdown in most cases. There's a few instances where they have a really good gravy, a really good flavor, where it is a good experience. But typically we're used to more of a pulled kind of beef, where it's been in a pot roast style or other kind of oven cooking, where it's really tender and it's in chunks of beef that's been kind of shredded, and then some kind of gravy or other moisture type substance to keep it all juicy, delicious inside. And somehow they've managed to do some juicy deliciousness with no gravy that I'm detecting so far. Although I'm getting a little tired. It's a really big portion to eat. My mouth is hurting from so much chewing. This is a lot of food to eat. Okay, the last bite. My hand is not so totally dirty and greasy full of gravy, but there's definitely a lot of debris left on it. So definitely the more napkins that it takes to finish, we measure that, and here's the debris left over for our third half. So it's basically like a little salad here. So for our dessert course, we're going to be having a little salad, it looks like. So we definitely have a good selection here, some tomatoes, some lettuce, some pickles, and some roast beef. So it's really definitely the third half of the po' boy. So you get quite a nice finish when you have this last little snack to polish off. It always is a sign of a good po' boy. So good job here with an excess amount of stuff falling out to indicate we definitely had a good experience with a good po' boy. And wow, look at this big fork full of stuff. This could almost be a meal for some people. If they like salads and they're on a diet plan, they would maybe be able to have a nice lunch out of this. But I like to polish mine off and not save it for the next day, because who knows what it's going to be like when you heat it up. All these vegetables mixed in with everything else usually do not turn out or store very well.
How's everything tasting, Darby? So far, so good?
So you really do get a very generous serving of food here, as the leftovers on this plate indicate, which is, though, typically what we expect at a minimum typically in New Orleans for our really good po' boys. There are like really cheap po' boy places where you're not going to experience this, but if you go to any of the highly recommended good po' boy places in New Orleans, you definitely should have, at a minimum, a nice little plate of food dripping out at the end of your meal to have another little snack left over for the third half. We also typically would want to see a bigger pile of napkins, but they didn't have a lot of gravy, so it really wasn't that messy to eat, but ooh, I'm full. So the total for my meal today was $27.70 before tip. So that is an above average price, but it wasn't an above average size of gumbo. So thanks to everybody at Mahony's for the great food and great times. And if you're in New Orleans, definitely stop in and check this place out at this Uptown location or their French Quarter location.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you would just click on the little circle here with a picture of my head in there and subscribe to the NOLA Gent channel, it would really help me a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.